So I'm here with Seth. He is the industrial design manager for Gerber. Now you might recognize this guy. When I called, I asked who we were going to talk to, and they said we're going to talk to the guy that's in a lot of the videos that you've seen from Gerber. And I said, is it the beard guy? And they said, yes, it's the beard guy. So this is Seth. He is the industrial design manager for Gerber. Seth, what does the industrial design manager do?
Essentially, I lead the industrial design department. I'm also a working manager, so I'm responsible for a number of projects in process right now and a few knives that have come out recently. But we work with our product management team to identify and understand opportunities in the market and really understand consumer needs, user needs, and drill down into those details and design knives.
So you're the guys that are out there looking for the next best thing.
A lot of times, yeah.
The next new thing.
In concert with the project managers and the product managers, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So let me tell you, I was very impressed with Defender. I wasn't impressed as when I looked at it in the package, I was like, what the heck is this? I don't need another key fob. I pulled it out, played with this thing. It is absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of what industrial design does is, design in second, third, and fourth level details to keep people, interested and impressed, compelled, and really make compelling products that might not say it right from the shelf, but the more you use it, the more you understand its purpose, the more you can appreciate it.
I think also a lot of our folks that are on the website, they notice that when they watch the videos that come from Gerber where you're detailing product, there's a clear-cut thing that you're not the pitch guy, you're not the sales guy, you are not that guy. You're the design guy, and you're getting into the heart of the matter when it really comes down to those products.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you do that?
It's a lot of collaboration. We've got an excellent engineering department, an excellent product management department. It's a lot of heads that come together, and industrial design, helps visualize that, helps understand human factors, how it's going to be used in the fields. With all this fishing product behind me, I mean, that was there was a lot of fishing that I'm definitely not going to complain about. So,
nice.
So understanding, talking to guides, talking to professional fishermen. So
let me ask this then. So you get into this process and you find that this thing that you thought was going to be perfect doesn't work. Do you go back to the drawing board? What happens there?
You do. You take what did work, and in the ID world, oftentimes you'll hear some folks talk about killing your design babies. It always hurts. You shed a tear and you move on. So matter of being able to let go of those. So
in that sense, though, you hone this product down so it is the best that it can possibly be.
Yeah, the best it can possibly be within certain manufacturing constraints.
And at manufacturing constraints, and a price constraint, and a price point that works.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, you have to comply with local laws, federal laws. There's tons of considerations that we get a lot of help with.
Awesome.
From our legal department. So.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I'm holding a Gerber strong arm.
Yes.
Now, every time that I call up Gerber and I say, I've got a giveaway thing coming, like we did for National Knife Day, I always ask for one of these because they are so popular and everybody wants one. Tell me about this Gerber strong arm.
The strong arm has turned out to be, the most popular fixed blade knife that we've done in decades, honestly.
I think Andrew just told me out there on the floor that it was like one of the most popular across all brands.
Absolutely. No, and I think it combines sort of a rare combination of price point. It's definitely within reach of a lot of folks.
Right.
It's domestically produced, made right here in Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
That's a huge selling point for a lot of folks.
Right.
And the design of it is, you can't argue with it. It's a great looking knife. It feels great.
Right.
It'll absolutely take a hellacious beating.
Right.
And it's 420 steel, which a lot of people get down on.
No, 420HC. There are companies out there right now who built their entire reputation on 420HC.
I love 420.
I'm not going to name their name.
Yeah, I can always put an edge back on this, no matter where I am or what I have. You can almost sharpen it on the sidewalk.
Right.
And, you can deal with it. A lot of the powder metals and CPM stuff, awesome edge retention.
You get a little too much of a pry, you break it.
Exactly. So I think this knife suits a lot of folks' needs, and it's been good for us.
So what stands out to me as I look at it just straight away, and every time I hold it, is this injection molded handle.
Yes, absolutely. So this is a 2-shot injection mold. So basically the the blade and tang go off for Cerakote.
Okay.
They wind up coming back here. We shoot the substrate on, which is a nylon substrate. The overmold is shot on afterwards in a second shot. You get a super grippy handle.
And you don't send that out. It happens right here.
Oh, absolutely. No, the machines are back here. We have several injection mold machines. We just put in a whole bunch of infrastructure to move these heavy injection mold tools around with a gantry crane and all that. So
nice.
it's we're getting more efficient back there, doing a lot more in-house,
right.
And we can control things better that way,
right?
And offer it to the consumer at a better price.
Now, the other thing that stands out that is not the blade. The blade does stand out, and
yes.
it works on its own just fine. The other thing that stands out to me is the innovations that are in the sheath.
That's one thing that often winds up being, sort of an afterthought. I can speak from experience.
I can tell you this about this sheath. You need to read the instructions, but once you do, it's amazing.
Once you get it, you get it. It's MOLLE compatible. You can carry it Scout, style. You can carry it low, carry on your belt. It's, there's a number of ways you can affix it to a pack.
Right.
Any part of your gear, your chest rig. It's incredible, and it just builds in a ton of options.
Even beyond that, I mean, here you have some nice strap holes. Mm-hmm. You have, of course, lashing holes down the whole thing. You're not going to lose this. It's going to be into that double thick ballistic nylon that's up top.
Yep. You've got thumb lifters on the side here.
That's and you can hear it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it does give you, positive feedback that it's in there. So.
Speaking of positive feedback, we always get positive feedback on the Strong Arm. It's an amazing knife, and I'm glad that you made that one of the ones you showed us here, and I hope that we get to see some of that in the factory out there. I know one of the knives that I have to talk about is a knife that we cannot keep on the shelves at all this year. It has become so popular for Gerber. It's the flat iron. Yeah, that bad boy right there.
Right here.
What is it about this knife that everybody wants?
It's really hard to put your finger on what exactly it is, but with a few of the knives that we've come out with lately, the flat iron being the primary example, offering folks knives that a lot of the custom guys are doing that are really on trend from a custom standpoint has been a big deal for not only us but a few other manufacturers. But getting that sort of blade shape out to folks at a reasonable price, it might.
I think it just took everybody by surprise. So when it comes out in the lineup, everybody's looking through. I believe the kettlebell was another one, and some other stuff out there. Yep. And then you just see this flat iron, and it looks like a cleaver and a straight razor had a baby.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it just really looks like that. You're talking about, I'm not sure what steel is in this. Do you remember what steel is in
that? That is 7CR.
7CR.
Yep.
So you've got a decent steel that's an upgrade from a regular stainless.
Yep.
You've got it at a great price point.
Yep.
The only thing that disappointed me when I looked at this, the only thing, I bet you can tell me what it's going to be, that it doesn't have a flipper. I want a flipper in one of these so bad.
Well, we definitely listen to the voice of the consumer. We listen to a lot of our
Otherwise, this is a perfect knife. I mean, it just really is.
Yeah, I mean, I like I was saying before, I was a little skeptical when the product manager briefed this guy in. I was like, a folding cleaver, all right. So we started looking around, finding out what other folks were doing, where we could make improvements. When I sat down and sketched this knife out, it was basically trying to design everything out of it that we possibly could. It was sort of it was coming from a less is more philosophy. Right.
No, it's a great looking knife. I know it's just going to continue to sell.
Yep.
I hope you take that and make some more things based around that. Because I think they're just going to sell like crazy.
Yeah, we might take your advice on that.
Nice.
A couple improvements that we have made. I don't know if it's worth going over on.
No, sure, go for it.
We did get some feedback from social media in particular. A lot of folks were having trouble opening it one-handed.
Yes.
And there's a number of different reasons for that. Some of them had to do with how the knife was put together. Some of it had to do with how I designed the knife.
Right.
Which I'll definitely own. So one improvement we made was moving the thumb hole back away from the axle a little bit more. I never had a problem opening it up.
See, I have such trouble with thumb studs and thumb holes. It's just me. So like on this type knife, I'm probably going to do that.
Yep.
And just do it one-handed if I was going to do it one-handed. But what I'm going to end up doing is messing with that way too much over a period of time. But with that thumb hole where you just had it, it's no problem.
So it was moved away from the axle, away from the pivot a little bit more. Also, our quality team was able to do a really quick but effective human factor study where we filmed people using the knife. And
Right.
one thing that we found out was that when people operate a frame lock, and this isn't exclusive to the flat iron, it's almost any frame lock.
Okay.
A lot of people wind up putting their two forefingers on the frame lock, which of course
I had not
affects
heard
the
that.
detents.
Right,
And
right.
you try to open this thing, and you're pressing on the lock bar.
I did not. I've
The
never
harder you
thought
try
that.
to open that, the harder your fingers are pressing the lock
Right,
bar
right. You're
down.
stopping it yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's sort of this diminishing
Right.
return game. So we developed this plate back here that essentially replaces the over-travel disc. Prevents your two fingers from...
So it obviously stops you from pressing down and
Exactly.
decompressing that whole thing. It makes
Exactly.
it easier to open. That's awesome.
patent pending.
I love the pocket clip on this thing.
And that's also been improved. We lightened
Really?
it up a little bit. Yes, exactly.
I love the girth of it. I mean, I just love the feel of it.
It rides well.
Yeah, it really does ride well.
So, I
But
mean,
no, I
pocket
would love
clips
to
are one of those things that people love or hate. You
It's
know,
always that way.
It's kind of one of those things. You can't please everybody, but...
Absolutely. So we're glad you're improving these things. We're glad you're going to bring us more, hopefully.
Yes.
We love it. That's the flat iron. It is an amazing little knife. This bad boy, the Gerber center drive, and this is the black, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
I'm
Center
going to let you
drive.
handle it and do all that fun stuff.
All right. Yeah, I mean, center drive, basically one hand open.
Do it again. Close that up, because I will guarantee you that a ton of these people watching this has never seen anybody do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one hand open, so it's flick open. You can hold it back here and just kind of give it a little whack.
I honestly
Pops right
did not
open.
know that, Seth, till you just did that right now.
You know, the MP600, one of our benchmark multi-tools that we've been making forever, and the U.S. military has been using forever.
Yeah.
One hand open as well. Where we made an improvement on the center drive is this is actually one hand closed too.
Nice.
So
yeah, I knew
one-
that part
yeah.
of it. I had no idea you could just flick it open.
Oh yeah,
like that.
absolutely. And you know, of course, it's namesake center drive.
And that's a great thing, because I know, having used other multi-tools over the years, that when you are not aligned directly over top of the screw or whatever you're on, it sometimes gets really hard to do.
Yeah, the whole process gets compromised. You know, having the ability to customize your own quarter drive drivers as well, your own bits,
Right.
depending on what you're going to use. You know, if I was
Right.
using this in my workshop, I'd have, you know, a ton of different torques in there.
Right, and so like in this pack, I've got a whole set of bits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
There's some common torques. There's square drive, you know, number of different Phillips sizes, cross drive, flat drivers, and some hexes. A lot of bases are actually covered right out of the gates.
Right.
But-
So what else is in this? We know there's a center drive. We know there is a one-hand open.
And these are all the outboard tools here, right? So
Right.
full-size blade driver. There is a somewhat fine needle nose, but it's, you know, hefty enough to be sort of a severe duty tool. Replaceable, not only replaceable, but repositionable carbide cutters.
Always a good idea in a multi-tool.
Exactly.
One of the biggest complaints I hear from people who don't have replaceable wire cutters is the
Yep.
ability to get in there and change those out once you've worn them down.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're not out of the game right away as soon
Right.
as it's worn out. You don't have to go get new ones instantly. There's also, you know, your usual bottle opener pry tool there.
Nice.
A good file.
Nice.
This is one of my favorites, the awl. It's just, it's a spike. That's
It is.
You know, if you
do
start
some damage with
yeah,
that.
if one of us decided to start losing weight, we could punch a new hole in our belt.
There you go.
And be in
I didn't know where you
shape.
was going with that at first, but it was a good spot.
Full serrated blade for, you know, rope cordage,
Right.
webbing, all that kind of stuff. And these are all locking tools as well, right? So
Nice.
this guy slides back to unlock. And back here is storage for an extra bit if you're not toting your
Right.
sheath around with you.
Nice, nice, nice.
So if this is just rattling around in the center console without its sheath, you know, you can put a flat driver
Right.
there and have a cross driver there, and you know you're in good shape for a lot of tasks.
And so this is also falls under the Gerber lifetime warranty, right?
It does, absolutely, all of it.
Nice. So
Yep.
you mess something up, send it back.
Yep,
You'll send a new one out.
made right here in Portland.
I'm going to see if I can make it do this one hand open thing. Do I have to do anything special? Or I just flick it.
So here's the idea. You want to sort of maximize
The torque going down.
that
Okay.
energy away from the pivot, right?
Okay.
So
let's see if I can make it happen.
boom.
Who knew? Seth, thank you so much.
Absolutely,
I
my pleasure.
absolutely appreciate it.